welcome everybody to another round of World of Tanks subscriber replays. My name as always is Maxwell, and today's first video is from the user Lemalina. That's Lemalina, and he's driving the T110E4 on a standard battle on Ruinberg. T110E4 being a tier 10 turreted tank destroyer for the Americans. So I thought I'd bring you a couple of top tiered battles today. So both of them going to feature tier 10 tanks, and both of them going to feature tanks with pretty damn big cannons. So you can all sit back, relax, and prepare to see some big numbers. So straight away, Lemalina going to be heading off into the town. This being Ruinberg and him being a tank destroyer. He's not content to be sitting all the way at the back. Spots out in the MX-1390 making his way. You can see he leads the target here, which is a nice piece of work there. Gets a great hit through the side of the MX-1390. Unfortunately, nope, there we go. Somebody's able to take... excuse me. Somebody's able to take him out in the end. You saw him aiming quite far ahead of where the MX-1390 was going to appear, and that's just so that he has time for the target to be spotted before he takes his shot. Gets a great hit on that E100 as well, 871 damage, and luckily positioned himself just perfectly so the E100 only got his tracks in return. And see, he does have quite a substantial reload on this cannon though, but the E100's not finished. He wants some more, and he takes another 741 damage for his trouble. He's going to be charging forward, but Lemalina's going to be reloaded any minute now. E100 fires his shot and only takes out the tracks. Not going to waste a repair kit on this one, considering he's in no immediate danger. You see, he's got support behind him as well in the form of that T30 and the AT-15. Do you remember that there was an IS-3 hiding in the background? And this thing, the T110E4, is very well armoured. So it's a pretty tough cookie to crack. You see, just keeping an eye on that IS-3. Don't want him to poke out. Doesn't want to take any damage that he doesn't have to take. You can see that the Allied E100 is going a little bit ham in the centre there. He's just decided to charge on forward and just go for it. So Lemalina deciding to go offer him some support. The enemy E100 only got 532 hit points left, so this shouldn't be too much of a problem. Just going to let his reticule close in a little bit and take him out and pick up his first kill of the match. So we're only, what's that, 2.5 minutes into this, and he's already done almost 3,000 points of damage. As you can see, keeping his front armor angled to the two camping tanks in the background there. Comes around the corner, takes out the IS-3, and that's kill number 2. So the rest of the battle progressing fairly nicely here. You can see the Allies winning 6 kills to 2 right now. Finds another Russian tank, the IS-8 this time. Tracks him as he falls back and gets some damage through his side. A little bit of a low roll on that one. Not that he could have taken him out in one shot anyway, but still a little bit unfortunate to only get such a low roll. Going to close him down now. He's got the armor to just sit in front of him and probably take this shot, but the IS-8 had just fired, so wasn't able to get a shot back in time. And Lemalina just takes him out at his leisure. See the battle going pretty damn well for the Allies. They've pretty much just overrun the city here. And on the plains on the far right-hand side, they didn't commit nearly enough forces to that central village. Luckily, what they did do is they had enough forces camping in the back there. Lovely hit on that E100 and set them on fire. And it looks like for some reason a tank with 2,700 hit points hasn't invested in a fire extinguisher, and look at that. 3,000 credits would have saved him from taking 2,000 damage there, but as it is, just decides to take that damage anyway. So going to go and close him down. Does see that there's an IS-3 there, but not really too bothered about him. If he does take some damage, so be it. He's got 2,000 hit points. Decides to go and finish off the E100 instead. The IS-3 wasn't loaded anyway, so able to get away scot-free with that one. Now going to come around and see if he can take out this IS-3. Be nice if he could and pick up kill number 5. Just going to focus himself in. Takes him out and picks up kill number 5 now. So enemy team are really going to have to put up some kind of determined defense on that right-hand side. But I think there are just too many tanks in the back there for the Allied team. You can see that a couple of them have tried to make a push forward, but they are just falling to the combined guns of the camping tank destroyers there. Comes around the corner. There is a secret ISU 152. takes his first bit of damage in the game and then takes out the ISU 152 for kill number 6 and a well-deserved Top Gun medal. Is he going to go for the base capture? It looks like not. I would hazard to guess that he's going to drive all the way through, and indeed he does. He's going to be making a beeline over to the right-hand flank now to see if he can get some more damage, as he's done 8,300 so far. Going to see if he can get a little bit more before this game winds down. Enemy team still got a few high-tiered tanks. They've got the Batchat, the T62A, Waffenträger E100, and that T44. You can see the Batchat starting to fall back now, trying to get away. I think he's going to try and reset that base capture now, and Le Malina probably just going to let him go do that. Nope, going to be focusing in, trying to get a shot on him, but the Batchat looks like he's well disguised in those bushes there. Waffenträger gets himself taken out. There's just going to be this Batchat here who spins himself around. Le Malina gets a great shot on him there. Nice big roll. And then the Batchat gets taken out. That just leaves the T62 and that T44, but they are now in and around the cap circle. Not the cap circle, well, yes, the cap circle. This isn't an encounter battle. The T44 and T62 are going to try and work down the Ferdinand now. Already taken out the Rheinmetall, but as you can see, the T44 only got, what is that, 17 hit points, and that T62A only got 170 himself. So it's just a case of everybody going to close him down, going to see who can get the kill on the T62A. I don't think Le Malina is going to be there in time, as he is particularly slowly. And there we go, Ferdinand takes him out, and that is GG and the victory. So absolutely awesome game there from Le Malina in the T110E4, doing almost 9,200 points of damage and picking himself up 6 kills. So absolutely awesome replay from you. Thank you very much for sending that one in. Don't forget to stick around, because as always, the score screens and another game are coming right up. And our second replay of the day is from the user Julian R94. That is Julian R94, and he's driving the E100 on a standard battle on the highway. E100 being a tier 10 heavy tank for the Germans. And like I said, it's a couple of top tier games for you today, both tanks having big cannons. So again, this is going to be a sit back, relax, and watch the large numbers fly. Obviously, E100, not the nippiest of tanks, not the fastest of vehicles, so we're going to speed this one up until he gets to the top of the hill. As you can see, we're at 4 times speed at the moment, and still taking quite a while to climb this hill. There's quite a lot of allied forces being committed to this flank, which is the way you need to do it, really. If you don't take the city on this map, then you're pretty much guaranteed to lose. You can see they've got quite a lot of defense on that left-hand side as well, so doing a pretty good split here of forces to the city as opposed to forces defending the base and that left-hand flank. So Julian just going to set himself up in the city, see if he can get a shot on somebody. Did spot out a couple of tanks in the distance there. Does see a Leopard 1 and fires a great shot off there and gets a nice high roll onto him. And bounces a shot in return from the nice thick frontal armor of the E100. Sets himself up in a beautiful side scraping position here. Finds an Object 704, lets his reticule close in, gets a big hit onto him as well, and the Object 704 decides that it's time to run the heck away, as he doesn't want to take any more of those hits at all. Finds a Jagdpanzer E100, still in a good side scraping position, so he can leave himself out there just a little bit. You can see the enemy's pushing another Jagdpanzer E100 around the north here, and they've only got that Jagdtiger and that FV. FV's down to just above half hit points, so we're going to come around here and help him out. Gets a great lineup on the lower plate of the Jagdpanzer there. Gets a great hit, and the FV takes him out in the end. Julian going to be advancing forward against this IS-7 now. You can see the IS-7's actually got a damaged track. And just going to be using the corpse of this Jagdpanzer E100 to block himself off. Unfortunately, the low penetration of this gun letting him down just a little bit. Did get a great shot on the underbelly of the IS-7 there on the lower plate, but that one just bounced because of the really bad penetration of this cannon. You see, again, gets a second hit on the weak spot of the IS-7, that lower plate, and still manages to bounce because of the terrible penetration of this cannon. Going to be waiting here as he's got quite a lot of support behind him, but they're getting pushed a little bit on the left-hand side of this city. Finds an M103, going to see if we can get a hit on him. M103's in a terrible position. Unfortunately, only able to take out the track of the M103 there, but then everybody else, the vultures descend. As you can see, Julian not wanting to advance down this road anymore, just considering the amount of tanks they've got in there, all jostling for position, and noticing that they were getting pushed pretty hard on that left-hand side. Comes around to try and defend off against this IS-8. If this IS-8 can get in around everybody, he's going to be able to cause a good bit of damage and get some free shots on people's rear armor. Not really sure where the IS-8's looking. He's come around, he's decided that he's flanked around behind them, so he'll be damned if he's not going to get any rear armor action. He decides just to fire off a shot at somebody, because he probably wasn't going to hurt Julian in the E100, so decides just to shoot somebody anyway. Second IS-8 comes up. Maybe going to try the same maneuver, but he's got to know that this E100 is here. And if he doesn't realise, then he does now, as he gets himself blasted through the wall there and taken out, and Julian picks up kill number 2. So everybody who pushed around on that far right-hand road there has now been pushed back, thanks to the concerted defensive efforts of the enemy team. That Object 704 from earlier reappears and gets a good hit onto the E100. Does a good chunk of damage, and Julian gets a great bit of damage back in return. He's got his front plate hidden quite nicely here. Doesn't want to take any damage from that M103, but he's got to be aware that that T-54 is on his left-hand side as well, and doesn't want to take any damage through his side armor. Looks like the T-54 has advanced forward now, and the M103 is also advanced forward, so he's trying to lure somebody out with the promise of side shots, and nobody is falling for it. This M103, almost dropped back far enough for Julian to be able to do something about this. Just having a quick look to see where that Jagdpanzer E100 is, and to see which direction he's facing, but I don't think he's got the zoom out mod, so he can't quite make it out. M103 is facing in this direction though, but I don't think this M103 is brave enough to head around the corner and take one in the face. As it is, he only takes out the track. Julian fixes that one up, aims for the commander's hatch and takes him out, picks up kill number 3. Fight not going particularly well for the Allies at the moment, losing 9 kills to 11. They did put quite a lot of force into this town. Unfortunately, they seem to have almost lost it now. Jagdpanzer E100 dueling with the C-75. Few more seconds for Julian to reload. Reloads and takes him out. Picks up kill number 4. So there's still a T-54 and somebody else, thanks to my balked mini-map. Not really sure who that is, but there's still at least 2 tanks in this city. And Julian in the E100 going to have to work together with the Z75. Comes around. It's the Object 704. Finds him. Object 704 rushes his shot and misses. Unfortunately, Julian only takes out his track. Object 704 deciding to repair that one and fall back. I probably wouldn't have used a repair kit on that one, considering that the E100 has a 16 and a bit second reload. And he's probably going to be quite safe. Julian manages to get a snapshot on that one and gets the best of it. Now it's just this T-54. So game a lot more even now at 13 kills to 12. Allied team winning thanks to the defensive actions of the Waffenträger Panzer IV on the left-hand flank and the Z75 and E100 in the town here. Got to try and track down this T-54 because T-54 is a pretty powerful tank. It's got some nice armor. The cannon on it isn't great, but its speed and maneuverability means that it is able to relocate nicely to different areas of the map. He's just keeping the building between himself and the E100 here. The E100 decides to push forward. T-54 commits to a course of action and leaves himself out in the open. The E75 and the E100 both get a hit on him and take him out. And that's Julian's kill number 6 and a Top Gun medal. So now this just leaves that T110E3, who has now suddenly appeared next to the Waffenträger, and the two of them just going to butt heads and fight it out. Julian's going to go over and offer some support, but again, we're going to speed this one up until we get back into the action, thanks to the incredibly slow driving speed of the E100. You can see himself and that E75 both closing in across the plains here. T110E3 takes out the Waffenträger. That means that Julian's going to have to get in there and do something about it. E75 making the the smart choice here of deciding to abandon the defensive action and go for the base instead. Fires off a premium round at the E3, but unfortunately just misses that one. If there's ever a time when you want to use your premium shells, this is it. And I think the E3 is actually firing premium shells back in return. But like I said, the E75 making the smart decision here of going for the cap circle instead of coming in and trying to flank the E3. If Julian can just hold his attention long enough, if the E3 penetrates all of his hits, he's going to take at least 2 shots to take him out. Oh, that was a very, very risky shot there. I probably wouldn't have taken that one, considering he could only see a tiny part of the very top of his turret, and he was moving it. So if the E75 can get himself into the cap circle pretty quickly, this one is going to be GG pretty much regardless of what happens to Julian here. Switches back to regular ammunition. I'm going to try and close the T110E3 down. E75 gets himself into the cap circle, which is nice. Now all Julian has to do is tie up the E3's attention. And this one will be over pretty quickly. I think the E3 was probably turned tail and ran for the cap circle, but now that he's seen that the E75 is also in the cap circle, he's probably going to be turning around and just trying to fight this one out. He's got to try and dispatch the E100 as quickly as possible, and then once he's done that, he's still got to get to the cap circle. Unfortunately, Julian's shot just bounced on the very top of the E3. People convinced that the little extra turret on the top of the E3 is a weak spot, but it's not necessarily a weak spot, as Julian did find out there. Still not able to find a weak spot. There we go. Gets a great shot into the underbelly of the E3 there. Gets full damage. E3 going to come in and try and get some return damage onto him. He's got to take out the E3 as quickly as possible. As you can see, comes in for the face hug here. Julian is loaded, but he's got to try and find a weak spot. Finds one, takes him out. And that is GG and the victory. So absolutely excellent concerted effort at the end, and just great play all throughout the replay from Julian. 94 there, picking himself up 7 kills and 7,000 points of damage. So awesome replay from you. Thank you very much for sending that one in. Don't forget, guys, if you've got yourself a great replay, then please send that into replay@screenreality.com. Link for that is in the description. Just send me an email with the link to the World of Tanks replay website where I can find the replay, or just attach it to the replay if you so desire. Don't forget, guys, if you enjoyed this video, you found it useful, informative, you liked it, or you learned something, then definitely consider hitting that subscribe button, because there's a lot more World of Tanks content on this channel. If you enjoyed the video and you want to join the discussion on the replays, then feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below. I have been Maxwell, this has been World of Tanks, and I will catch you guys next time.